Want to pretend like someone's just redeemed Whisper? So the entire time.
See? No.
Good.
I don't know if that'll work or
Good.
not.
Alrighty. You got everyone
Ready?
ready?
And this will be edited, right? Correct.
Of course.
Yes.
Of course.
Okay.
Yes. So
perfect.
that
We can
way,
take anything
when
out, or everything
I was
out.
going to say, or we could put more in.
Or we can add things in.
You just tell me exactly
switch
how
back and
much
forth.
to add.
Right.
Good.
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 Alrighty.
And action.
Today we have two of my personal favorite people on Twitch. They always stream with positivity. And include, I guess three of my favorite people on all of Twitch: positivity and inclusiveness. So those two adjectives don't necessarily fit to Bear, but the interactions and vibes on their channels certainly make you smile and have a better day. You'll not only find them in the golf directory, but some Call of Duty and maybe some Battlefield, or maybe we won't mention Battlefield. That one we can leave off the agenda for today. But with my highest recommendations, welcome in to game chat, the 007s, Nbonds and whodad007.
Hello.
Hello. Thanks for having us. This is a treat.
Yeah,
we've been seeing the interviews and they've been fantastic. So to even be considered with the group that you guys have already done, appreciate it.
Honored.
Very
well,
cool.
We had our lists again in like the early dreams of why don't we do a podcast where we get to interview people of not just what you see on the stream, but behind the scenes. And I think as we like generated this entire list, I might have to, leak some of our DMs, but I know the whodad007 clan was definitely up there because of the impact.
It was at this moment that he knew. He up.
Are you gonna cry?
No, I didn't. Okay. I didn't mute USN's stream, so I might need the audio for the first bit, and I didn't realize it until he did the bird up.
You know what? Just leave the whole thing.
Just leave all this.
Yeah, leave it in. Leave it in.
Okay.
We're huge USN fans, so
we're not gonna cut that. So, I'm a dumbass. Okay, but again, everything that you've done within the community, I think for newer people coming in, it's going to be good for them to realize, like, you get to do some of these things on Twitch because of these people, because of these pillars. So that's why. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Well, like most of our guests, we met. I think all of us met in the middle of 2020 during the height of the pandemic, and kind of everyone started up streaming, right? Whodad, I'll start with you first, as you had some prior streaming history, or maybe Nbonds does too. We'll get to that after. Then the golf directory. And we're formerly known as Beckler007 on the internet streets. When was your very first stream? And at that time, was there any necessarily inspiration for it?
I think, man, I'd go back like 2005, maybe, when I first started streaming. And that was based on Battlefield. And it was Battlefield Hardline at the time, and I had picked up a game. I decided to play it, and somebody reached out to me that I was playing with and said, "Hey, I just want to let you know I stream." I didn't know what streaming was, but I wanted to let you know that I was going to put you in a YouTube video. And he reached out, and I watched the YouTube video. And he ended up being my first follower on this platform called Twitch. And basically, he had gone 70 and 11 in a map on my team with a shotgun. And we had a chat party. And of course, then it wasn't like you make your own chat party. You get whoever's in there. Yeah. And there was a guy in there that basically just kept saying the N-word over and over and over and over. And the guy reached out to me because I was basically telling the guy, hey, let's chill out. It's just a game. Let's support this guy, because he was so upset that we were getting spawn trapped. And the guy basically reached out and said, hey, because of your positive attitude, I wanted to at least reach out to you and you know, kind of thank you for making me not have a bad video, because I wanted to really go off on this guy, but you kind of kept everything even killed that, hey, let's just run around, let's support this guy. And of course, I was a big revive guy and nobody revived in the game. So I was like, hey, I'm not good at shooting. I'm not good at aiming. So why don't I just do what I can and I'll just bring these people back to life? So that became my big thing. Is I ended up becoming a revivalist, I guess you could say. So that's what led me onto Twitch. And then
You were born again.
I ended up, yeah, I was born again. And then I jumped in this, my son was saying, hey, there's this guy that's real funny streaming. Why don't you go check him out? And it was I'm a Girl So's boyfriend, and his name was BK the Shark. And I went into his match and I jumped on his team, and he's like, Dad, he keeps kicking you off of his team, you know? And then I ran up to him, and you could give a 20% revive, or you could do your paddles for a long period of time. You could revive somebody with 100. I revived him with 100. On his stream, he just was like, who is this blueberry? I can't believe this guy just gave me a 100% revive. So that became my staple with him. And he had a pretty big following. I think he, you know, had like 4,000 followers at the time. And that was like huge. And he would stream with like 100 people. And I just kind of settled into my role. And then that led to Battlefield 1 with the same platoon. And I, you know, at one point was like top 10 medic in the world as far as Battlefield 1 goes. And we had a lot of fun times, and we did a lot of pub stuff.
I've seen the PowerPoint on the number one well, top 10 medic, but when you both kind of decide content, who gets to decide who takes what with some of the ideas that go on?
I think it's me.
Yeah, it's mostly him, and he's the one that comes up with content. I just turn on the stream and whatever happens. Usually my chat leads the way, and I kind of just follow them.
Your chat
so-
has never led to any, you know, crazy scenarios that you've
Never.
had to
They're
do.
so well behaved. Yeah, they're really good people.
And I think it's sometimes good when you have a woman streamer. I'm not allowed to call her female because she's like, I'm way more than that.
Okay.
You know, but I think when you have
clip the look she just gave you, because it is
Right.
golden.
I think it gives you know, people, you know, that were built into my community a chance to kind of see who it is behind the scenes that really, you know, supports me and pushes me out there. And it gives them a chance through my quirkiness or my you know, crossing the line type humor, that they feel like that they can go into her stream and really let their hair down.
Yeah. Now, to just finish the thought on your kind of medic history, were you streaming at that time? It seemed like you were more kind of watching and interacting in other people's streams.
Well, I was, and then yeah, it did end up leading to streaming, where I'd gotten, you know, let me buy a whole bunch of equipment and let me do all these things. But there was kind of a toxic aspect to, you know, first person shooters. They're not like the best communities really out there. And during that period of time, you end up coming across a lot of jealousy and things like that. You become a target, you know, where people want to come in and they want to ruin the streamer's, you know, life or whatnot. And, you know, I would stream for 3 or 4 people, and I would get, you know, discouraged a little bit because there wasn't really a lot of support, as far as it wasn't people saying, hey, let's go and see, let's share our community with somebody else and go and make their day. So I ended up doing it for a period of time and met a lot of great people. And then I wasn't really getting a lot of support from home because it was just taking a lot of time. And then my daughter was born and mom was trying to figure out, oh, great. Now you just get to go and, come home from work and you get to stream and, what's going on? Why do I have to do all this stuff? So it wasn't really until the golf community or the golf game came around that we started getting a little bit of softening up, because it wasn't just me playing games, but it was seeing the impact that you have on people and the direction that you're going in. And the response was way different than doing a first person shooter with somebody coming in saying you're a horrible father. And, I would have trolls left and right that basically like just pushed me out of the whole streaming thing, where it's like, why even do it? It's not worth it. It's not what I want to,
It's certainly one
do.
of the most challenging things I would say to overcome in those type of directories, because there's so many channels first off, and like you're saying, the communities themselves are just like, they're not even communities. It's just a bunch of people streaming a game where it's, unfortunately, the primary thing is toxic atmosphere. And I think that's one of the things that about both of your channels, and probably Nbonds can speak more on this behalf at this point, is just constantly being in that directory. You get all of these people that trickle in that try to ruin your day, and that's the positive vibes that you guys are able to maintain through that is one of the things that I find most inspirational about it. And you guys have built those communities, and even if it's 5 to 10 people, like usually it's real close people, and then like occasionally there'll be one or two new ones that trickle in, and they feel so much more welcome. Like it's a positive atmosphere. So I mean, I don't know if I necessarily had a question about that, but I commend you both on that.
Well, I think it's just like anything in life. You take those bad experiences and you see how you can, make them positive. Because we went through a huge life change. When we made the move from Texas up to here, and that's when I was like, you know what? During that period of time of getting the house set up and doing my whole transition of kind of being the stay-at-home dad. I was craving that interaction with society, because my previous job, that's all I was in the middle of society. So the walls start closing in a little bit, and then you want to branch out. And I decided I was going to do that with SnowRunner, but I was going to have the mentality of, no matter if there was 2 or 3 people, I wanted to make the biggest impact on those 2 or 3 people there. Instead of being discouraged of the people that aren't coming in, how do I focus on the ones that are coming in? And that's where, started doing the little shout outs, or just putting something together where somebody came in and saying, hey, this is for you. Somebody took the time, somebody appreciates you. And then soon, that starts catching on and really building that thing of like, wait, this is kind of what it is. Because I've always thought, let's have this like a boys and girls club, where you're out of school, you got a place that you can come and hang out, and you can get away from all the things that are going to be negative around you, because there's going to be plenty of time for that. So why not have a place that you could come and know that you're going to be okay and taken care of and appreciated? And that philosophy is kind of, what I've tried to have my channel about since kind of making the return. And then of course, PGA came, and it's just been a whole different animal.
Sure.
Oh,
yeah.
I was gonna say, do you want me to start talking about you covering up your swing plane? We'll start that drama first, or the fact people don't realize there's a button that you've created of the society, like those cool little minute details that maybe someone who just comes in and they're looking at the streamer and they see Jerry's gigantic bottom lip and they're going, what's wrong with that? And then you don't realize you've got 7 other things that go into the stream. How, I guess this is more just curiosity. How long does it take for you to create some of those buttons, or what
How long
It
does
doesn't take long.
Nbonds?
It doesn't take long, but to get them right, it takes forever. Because I don't know how many times like I get something and it's like, oh, this looks good, or and then I'll pop it up and then we got to tear it down. It's not the right color. It's not the right font. All those things, but it's
I
taken
would
me out of my
say
comfort zone as far as that goes, and that was one of
if
the
I can
things. that I
step
wanted.
into this 007 interview. One of the biggest things that he takes pride at are those little customization, whether it be the buttons or the shout out videos that he makes, the
frames
graphics that he
around them.
has. So he takes a lot of thought because he doesn't just want to throw something out there. He wants it to be personal. And it's kind of a way to, well, it is a way to recognize the persons that come in to his stream and just show him that he appreciates them.
And
So
these aren't any any quick little intros. They're very elaborate. So like you can tell, and not just the intros, but I remember like the crazy like the bit leader board you had that popped up and everything like that, and just the time and effort and like that goes into those things. Nbonds,
yes.
so we met about 2 years ago as well. You were, kind of into the golf community, but I think your passion lies with Call of Duty and more in the shooters. But it's more the people and the community aspect. Um, was Call of Duty always a gaming passion of yours? Have you been gaming, for quite some time? Is there any gaming history beyond that goes beyond Call of Duty?
I mean, I know growing up, I played Mario Kart. Then I met
Casually?
Whodad, yeah, again. And it was mostly sports. It was Madden, NBA, Top Shots,
Hot
Tiger Woods,
Shots.
Hot Shots.
Yes,
Um,
that was the first game we actually played together, and we would play the par 3 course, and she would get the closest to the hole. She's just a natural.
yeah, it got to the point
You're a
where
gamer.
Yeah.
his friends wouldn't want to play with me, because especially Madden, because it would be his friends on one team, me on the other,
And you would kick their ass.
blowout. Yeah, yeah.
Like she could not play defense, but I remember she would. The first Madden that we were playing, Rich Gannon was the top quarterback for the Raiders, and she throws for like 600 yards. But she can't play defense. So she had like the New Orleans Saints offense of I'm gonna score more points than you at the end of the day. I don't care about my defense. I don't care what's going on. And yeah, soon they just didn't want to play with her anymore.
Yeah, and then I hit COD probably in 2006. Well, Call of Duty 2.
So you did.
Yeah.
Black Ops 2.
Black Ops 2.
It
I'm
seems
sorry.
like
See, I play it, but I don't know anything about it.
Your gaming
It's been
history
all over the
more
place.
was exponential once you met Whodad. Fair to say?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, because he had it was an Xbox back then.
Go ahead, say I had the equipment.
He had the equipment. It was Xbox.
Oh yeah.
The editor will know all
And the Xbox had the red circle of death. And then it went to PlayStation.
Mm-hmm.
And then we got to know this community, and they're like, why aren't you playing on PC?
Yeah.
So now
And it
it's
got to the
easy.
point where we had to have 2 systems in the house. I mean,
Yeah.
that's all that there was to it. But I was never allowed to play zombies with her because we'd go through, the first 8 levels. We're sitting there going, "Oh, great job, babe. Way to go. We just closed up all the things. Yeah, no, I'll babysit the creeper. You go ahead and seal up everything you need." And then all of a sudden by level 20, it's like, "How did you die right there? There's no way." And then it just became this big screaming match and all the love was gone. And then I'm like, okay, well, I'll go play Battlefield.
Yeah. There you go.
Well, how do you set up the schedule for the week? I mean, Whodad, you've kind of adjusted to when the drop off happens at school, and then
Mhm.
you're able to go live. But how do you kind of adjust within the family as to who gets to stream when?
It's interesting because before I kind of came back to streaming, my whole thing was to spend a few months kind of figuring out the pulse of the house and to sit there and go, okay, well, maybe the evenings is going to be a time. Let me see if I can kind of break away, or is it the mornings that I can go and break away. And then now it's kind of come to the time of like, she'll say, hey, I think Tuesday, or Tuesday, Thursdays, and Saturdays, I think was a thing that she wanted to do. And then with her job and stuff, it's become, Thursdays are definitely set in stone. She loves her golfer's gulag. That's not going to be touched. And she's said, hey, I think this is a good time for you to stream, and I'll try to pick it up and stream.
Scheduling's been very difficult.
Yeah.
I will say that. There's a lot to go in with, you know, t- husband, wife, kid, work, other responsibilities. So there has been up and downs in the schedule. I would much rather have him have a schedule, because I mean I work Monday through Friday
Yeah, but your
hard.
employees,
Yeah.
I know at least one of
Yeah.
them, and he just so freaking terrible. Like I can't. Right now, Lex's picture is going to be up here. I'm going to make sure it's a
Right.
nice juicy one, but
That's going to be awesome.
no, no. That's why I'm just curious, because I think it's going to be important for people to hear. Kilbride is dealing with the
Mhm.
streaming schedule with a child. I've worked around having 2 kids, so I think having 2 streamers within the family, I think understanding not only how much work you do in both of your streams, not only that's a big chunk. Now you've got to schedule this. You've got to schedule it around work. You got to schedule up pick. So I think it's just something that where if you're on the inside, you kind of have a good idea. From the outside, you're like, why isn't why isn't Whodad live right now? Why isn't Nbonds live? It's like you got to realize they're not juggling
Life
one stream
happens.
schedule.
Yeah.
They're juggling 2.
And
Oh,
it's one
yeah.
of those things where I think in a perfect world, I'm going to be streaming in the morning time or somewhere in between where I drop my, little one off. And then by the time that I pick her up, and if you see N-bonds, it's going to be in the evening time because I'll do what I can to make sure that the house is taken care of. Whereas before she had started school,
That was hard.
it was almost, I don't want to say impossible, but there were times that, you want to stream, but you just, that's not the right move right now.
Mm.
You can sit there and have a screaming baby and close the door and, hope that CPS doesn't knock on your door, but that wouldn't be the right call. So I think that that's kind of the thing that we had come to an agreement with is allowing her to have that evening time if she so chooses, and I'll take kind of morning times and then maybe a weekend day or something like that where it's a little bit more easier to kind of break away, but those can get busy as well, depending on gymnastics and other things that are going on. So
Weekends
yeah.
are always tough to schedule. Bear does. I mean, kudos to you at your success and frequency that you were able to keep that Saturday night going. I feel like weekends always just kind of get disrupted, but couldn't agree. Whodad, one of the unique things, and we briefly touched over it already on your streams, is your in-game character Jerry. When
Yes.
was Jerry created, and was there any initial purpose behind him? Was it like tie back into that revival state, and you just kind of wanted to like have this in-game person?
So the thing with Jerry is I love the name Jerry Attrick. And I was like, I'm going to have an old man. And the whole thinking was, I'm not very good at this game. So why not just caddy for the guy? Then it's not technically me ever playing.
Yeah.
So when I did qualifiers and I'm throwing up a plus 29, it's that guy. It's not me.
Wasn't you.
I can only do so much for the guy. So it was kind of a way for me to kind of put everything onto him. And then it just like took this whole everybody just grabbed it and ran with it, you know? So the idea was just like, let's create this character and, you know, we'll have the story behind him of, you know, him having 17 kids and never being able to go on the tour. So he, you know, had a chance to go on the senior tour, but he's too stubborn. So he wants to, you know, be on the TGCs and prove that he can go pro on his own now that, you know, the kids are out of the home and, you know, all the wives are buried. And, you know, it was just kind of his chance
19
to.
kids now.
Well, 19 kids now because he did get Tiffer
got-
pregnant with twins. And that's why you don't see Tiffer, TFR's character, around anymore. So, yeah. So it was just one of those things that I'm a little bit quirky. I thought let's just have a little bit of fun with it. That way it would kind of take the seriousness away from it because I'm like anybody else. I'm competitive and there's times that I would, you know, maybe have a bad round or choke or I remember there was a par 4 that all I needed to do was make a par and it was reachable and Jerry went for it and he went in the water and completely crushed, you know, the dreams. And would have been a lot easier to deal with that knowing that it was Jerry and not myself that had taken that swing.
I find it like I don't know if it helps at all, but like you can definitely
No.
see that you're a competitive person, but at the same time, having Jerry, you know, bringing that fun environment to the stream, it really circles back to the fun of the streams. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to be, oh, I have to go win, I have to do this, I have to do this. It's, you know, you're out there to have a good time, hang out with some friends, talk to the community, build that community. And Jerry does a fantastic job at that.
It doesn't mean that we don't have holes on the wall over here, you know,
Yeah,
from
exactly.
Jerry's caddy, you know, getting upset.
I think that's the biggest difference between Beckler 007 streaming and Whodad 007 streaming.
Interesting.
Was there was a change in the way that he approached, and it was more catered. It wasn't catered about the views. I can hear Sorry. It wasn't about the views when it was 007 or Whodad 007. It was just about whoever comes in my stream, I'm going to make sure that they're the important people, you know, right now, give them my full attention. And I think that's really helped build his stream and his community. It was a total different mindset for him coming back and just kind of revamping you as a
Using the
streamer.
revive button.
Yes.
Revolution.
Rejuvenation.
Yes.
We'll just keep throwing out
Rebranding.
words until it sticks.
Yeah.
And then we started taking pride in kind of showing those things off because there was always a taboo of like you didn't go and raid people. because then you'd be afraid that they're going to take your viewers. Like back when it was Beckler 007, there was a big taboo about that. You could have 100 people viewing you, and then it's like, okay, have a good day, see you tomorrow, and then it's like here you could go and really impact somebody's day. And so that's kind of where it was with like, let's see how many people we can get to affiliation. Hey, this person's only got 30 followers. Let's go. So there started being this thing that swelled up of like, how can we make the biggest impact in somebody's day? Because you guys, whether you know it or not, just made the biggest impact in my day. So it was kind of a race to see who we can get and things like that. I mean, I remember we raided Dobie and he had, 30 people, and you see tears come down the eyes and you see these things, and it was like, hey, this is really what it's about. And then to see Dobie then start interacting in other people's streams, and then you go in and you see these people that you had in there chopping it up with them and just really making his day. And to me it was like, you always heard this thing of the golf community is being the best, but to me it felt like a golf brotherhood. Like it had more than just a community. It was something where you're supporting people, whether they were had all the markers on or didn't have the markers on. I mean, when we went to Dobie, he had only played on pro. He didn't know what Masters was about, and of course this is all before they made Masters completely unplayable. But next thing you know,
Cinderella story.
Yeah, he's basically like a Cinderella story.
Dobiella.
Yeah, there you go. But it was like one of those things where it was like almost like, who can we go and get to next? Who can we go and get to next? Like, and it was never to be done to sit there and be like, oh, look at I've done all these great things. But it was like, there's more great people out there that we don't even know about. And sometimes all it takes is just giving somebody a chance. Branch it out. I mean, I remember raiding a guy with, we had 40 people sit in his stream and he was taking a shower.
He was taking a shower.
And it finally got to a point where it was like, we want to see what this guy does when he comes back.
We were committed. Like, the chat was blowing up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then he comes back.
He comes back and his girlfriend was like, we got to go. And he's like, I just had my first raid. And then he's like, what's going on?
And then he had the industry.
There was someone else who had a raid like that. It might have been Kilbride or Lex or someone, and it was the guy. It was like his second stream ever.
Oh, iSponge.
No, it wasn't that one. That one's legendary for so many other reasons.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
But this one, it was like a similar experience where you raided someone, you had no idea what was going on, and there's 40 people in there and chat's going, and he's just sitting there and he's playing the game, not paying attention, looks over and he goes, oh my god. And then his buddy calls him and he goes, hey, my car broke down, I need you to come pick me up. And he goes,
oh no,
guys, I have to end stream, but I'm gonna be back in 45 minutes. And I went, your buddy just tanked you and he doesn't even realize it.
Right? His buddy was probably at Mixer.
That costs absolutely nothing. That just brightens up people's day.
oh yeah.
These streamers that have 5 or less viewers, hardly anyone in the chat, all of a sudden they're bombarded with 40 plus people.
It was almost like, let's see who
that reaction when they are like, they just discover. I love it.
And then to come in and be like, all right, we're gonna go to this streamer, throw all your emotes that you can, let them see where you're coming from. And it was almost like every single raid, it was a competition to see who would make that streamer's computer crash. Because all of a sudden it was like, they can't keep up with the chat. They're wondering why it's like skipping. It's not keeping up. And it just, it really makes for those genuine moments.
It makes for like the favorite part of the stream is like, yeah, I am ending, but like this stream really isn't ending. Let's go see who we can, make their day, and then like you just get that genuine excitement to hopefully pass it on to someone else. So
Slap it forward.
that's
Slap it forward.
and that's a perfect
Explain the
segue.
slaps.
Yeah,
Explain the slaps.
spread
That's
love
my
and
next question for you,
positivity.
Kilbride.
Go ahead, Nbonds.
What was the question?
Where
So
did slap come from?
spreading love and positivity, slapping people.
Along with quarantine, I discovered TikTok. The people that were in my algorithm, they were my jams. So one of the people that I followed, they would do these live streams. And then during their stream, they asked individuals to go and say hi or follow another person that's on live at the same time. And they would have over 1,000 people in their streams. And then all of a sudden, they'll spam their link. People would go over, and then they would just, make that person's day. And they called it slap. So I was like, you know what? I can do that on Twitch. I mean, we kind of already do.
Mm-hmm.
And
At least now it'll have a name.
It has a name, yeah. So I just kind of started with the whole slapping with, it's not the kind of slaps that you might have gotten when you were a kid from your mama across the face. It's more just spreading love and positivity, and it's just the vibe that I like to do, just because of the community that we've discovered here, and just seeing the reactions on their faces when you just spread just a little bit of love and positivity, and that can just make someone else's like whole week or month or year, and it doesn't cost a thing.
That's right. It's a major part of
doesn't.
your channel
Right.
too, I would say. It's you have the emotes around it, the slaps in the channel. That's your
Yep.
reward tickets or whatever the generic term is for it.
Yep.
But
My channel points. People come in and say, slap me. I got a
Yeah.
button.
Yeah,
I
and then
slap
there's a
'em.
comic relief part of it too. So it's, people feel inclusive in circling and kind of segueing off of that. Like, was the quarantine time frame like a little over 2 years ago your first time hitting the go live button in Bonds?
Yes. Yeah.
And at
She had
that
a
time,
tournament.
was it just like you were playing TGC tours or
I
something at the time, or like
No, I was only doing Warzone. I will say, so when Whodad was Buckler, I did not get Twitch.
yeah.
He showed me a streamer's stream.
Which stream did he
And
take you to?
what's that?
Oh,
Which
she didn't
stream did
like
he
Dr.
take you to?
Disrespect.
I don't
You
like
know.
him.
Okay.
But it wasn't him who I was watching. But somebody was getting all these subs and these biddies, and he explained to me what they were. And I just thought that's the most stupidest thing in the entire world. And why do you do this? Like, I don't understand it. And that was part of the conflict too, back when he was Buckler. And I'll take full ownership. I thought Twitch was ridiculous. Fast forward to when Whodad came back, started streaming, and he found the golf community. It changed my mind. Like, these people who came in were generally amazing people. It was sportsy and C flips, and they start coming back and back and back, and you kind of get to know them. And so I learned about the community through Whodad's, stream and people. But my game was not golf. It was Warzone.
It was Warzone.
And Go Extra kept having these tournaments. And I finally said, well, I want to play in one. But the only way you can play in a tournament is if you stream it.
Oh.
And so Whodad let me have his PlayStation?
Yeah.
No camera.
Yeah. Yeah. Hop on the equipment. Let's go. I was super excited for it because I've seen her behind the scenes play, and I was like, yeah, she's,
All right.
is she the
Good.
best in the world?
No.
No, but she's the best in
Fundamentally.
this house. And I mean, even with golf now, that's the same thing.
Yep.
Yeah,
Now
so
it-
that was how I started streaming. I don't think I liked it. I think I was more terrified more than anything. But then 2 days later, I think I tried it again,
Yeah.
and I
Mhm.
believe I made affiliate
She
in
actually made affiliate because of the
13 days.
golf community when Killer Bees reached out and sent a big
Oh, God.
raid and
It's
slapped
terrified.
the heck out of her with that thing.
It was terrifying.
And next thing you know, she made it to affiliate, and that really is what started all the golfer gulag, where she wanted to do something to kind of give back, to the people, because it showed that they weren't just all about, they were really about the person behind the screen, not necessarily the games in which they were playing.
Because I think one of my first golf stream was me
Mhm.
playing on Legendary.
I do remember that. The Shiloh challenge.
Was it?
Mhm.
That's insane.
2.42, I think, is those
Something
legendary
like that.
settings with everything turned off.
Yeah, it just cranked up to
Mhm.
the max. Yeah, that's pretty funny. And like you mentioned Bees too, and we had him on, and like we talked briefly about his match play tournament, and same sort of thing. It brings a lot of people into streaming that probably wouldn't have clicked the go live button. Like you don't
Mhm.
necessarily need to stream your Bees Knees match play stuff, but I feel like that tournament or those tournaments, those structures that when people host them, are definitely a huge way to get new people involved in the community. And then when it's slapped forward to them and they're like, this is kind of fun, that's a really lifelong person that has been sucked into the Twitch platform, you know what I mean? And it's kind of cool seeing
It's the biggest
other
virtual
people.
hug you can give.
Yeah, absolutely.
Biggest virtual hug that you can give. And especially it's fun from when you're wondering that whole time, you see this name on all the leaderboards, you don't know who they are,
Right.
and then you actually get to go, okay, it's not a robot, it's an actual human being that's playing
not
this.
Well, we're
It's not malware.
Oh my God! That story is going to be up there in legend for a dude comes in, gets hacks on his computer to be able to set up 1 foot from the pin, and then wonders why his scores don't count.
Yeah.
Interesting. He needed to
Interesting.
change his DPI.
Yeah. No, those mousers, they get you every time.
We got a little mouser in the house. I know that.
I was gonna say
Two.
she looks like she's
Mhm.
looks like she's ready.
She is.
So I need to know, we've been talking a lot about the match plays. Nbonds, we matched up about
You did.
9 months ago. I need to know what the house has been like ever since that one magical night.
Was that a golf match
That
or a
was,
Tinder match?
I honestly, it felt like everything rolled into one. It's just
a lot more candles are in the house now. Ropes of all sorts of colors.
That's the only thing I'm allowed
Short
to wear.
ones, long ones, fluffy ones. Yeah. And a lot of love songs just
Mhm.
constantly upstairs, downstairs. It's been a really
And
romantic.
I think Go XLR
game
is
changer.
coming, so I can get a little bit of a deeper voice here. Hey.
Do you want me to turn the voice mods on? I could sit there. Hi everyone, welcome to the show.
Make sure you get a portable one so you can bring it wherever you go. It's just constantly on.
But see, that's a great thing is having those interactions. Bear, my one night with
Mhm.
Bear, my wedding anniversary.
Mm-hmm.
Our wedding
Those are
anniversary.
Now that I'm home,
What are you doing, Fred?
how do you do this? Oh, there we go.
Happy anniversary.
The same
Anniversary.
Oh my God,
sentence.
that's
your one
right.
night with Bear
Yeah.
and your
Mhm.
wedding anniversary.
No, the wedding
Exactly.
anniversary.
It was
clip,
like
I just
my
thought of
wife,
it.
All of
6
us
guys in Valheim.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't really
You know? Happy anniversary.
But again, that was like a great community thing. Those are not my games. I knew nothing. I'm sitting there going, "Ha, what do I do?" And thank God, like Lex and Nbonds, you're sitting there going, "No, this is the button you push." And then of course I'm just like, "So wait, how do I crouch?"
Yeah.
I'm like, "Tell me
And
right
then
now. I
Kilbride's
have
like,
this
"Oh, I'm
idea."
gonna get out of here before she calls the cops."
Yeah,
So
basically.
it's
We
just
talk.
those fun times. I'm
Yeah.
all about just having fun and
Mhm.
not taking anything serious.
We talk
So
about the fun times. There was, one of the things, and we also talked about community events. One of the things that, was a difficult time, but was turned into a positive time was obviously the Night Wolf event in the
Mhm.
whodad007 society. And like that event, like everything else that you guys do, I feel like is just very well thought out, organized. As you mentioned, whether it was kind of joking, half joking, not like your schedule, like you really reflect and think upon it. It's definitely, you get that vibe that you think everything through so much. Um, do you do it to create that inclusive community and feeling that everyone, means something to you personally, and you're doing your best to kind of show your love to all of those back to you? Like, for those who don't know, unfortunately, Nightwolf was a community member of yours, and kind
Mhm.
of showing that love back to him as you do in stream. Was that kind of the idea? And I guess I kind of rolled in like five thoughts into one. So
I think I, I think that I've being in like a pretty, you're used to being the head honcho at work. You're used to, you know, having all these responsibilities and these things, and all of a sudden when everything gets quiet, it can sometimes put you in a pretty dark spot because you're wondering, what's the purpose? What do I do here? And I remember that when I first decided to come, in I needed that outlet of whether it's just, me and Nightbot just chatting it up for 3 hours while I'm driving a semi rig around trying to get objectives. Um, there was always this Nightwolf guy that was there, and he came along to the golf community, as well. And to know that there were things that he was going through during the hardest part of his life and the battle that he was having, to see the the stuff that he was getting back from the pleated pants, the C mounts, the C flips, the USNs, all these people, was just awesome. Where he was the first one to say, "Hey," and he'd never go in and say, "Hey, here's another bad day that I'm having," and this and that. So, I think with how I am as a person, I really wanted, it crushed me. It crushed me when I'd gotten the news, and I came up with this idea of, let's put together some Nightwolf settings. People are shooting unbelievable scores. The game's kind of at a weird spot. So why not have this where we take some of these settings off and we do some of these things so that we kind of have to go through something ourselves, as a way of representing the battle that he was going through, and knowing that he would laugh along with us and he would root us on and these type of things. And I think that for me, that was a way that I was able to deal with some mourning, is knowing that there was a community of people that got it, that understood it, and could help, you know, ease my own pain, you know. So I think that that's just kind of how I've always been as a person, is kind of always being a giver, and knowing that it's not always about me. And I think that that was the best way that I could really represent that. And it was amazing to, have somebody reach out and say, "Hey, we got a big tournament coming up, and we want to, use those settings, because it was something where it was like had spent a lot of time and trying to get people where it was like, hey, even if you don't like the game anymore because the red fast is no longer there, pick it up with a friend, go on a walk, a 2-round walk with each other. And of course, Bear won like every single event known to man on that, but it was just a way of kind of getting those close people that knew him to kind of pick the game back up and to get some rounds in and know that there's bigger things out there than just a game, or so I don't know if that answers the question.
Yeah,
But
I mean, it definitely does. It was a really cool tribute you did for Nightwolf specifically, but I guess it kind of circles into that. That's what you try to do for everyone that's in the stream every single day, day in, day out. I mean, they don't even necessarily have to be in there day in, day out, but like anyone that pops in at any point that makes an interaction, take their time out of their day. I feel like there's a genuine curiosity and caring, and that's where your time and preparation, this is both goes for both of you, really shows to everyone that pops into that channel. It's spreading the love and positivity, so that it's definitely
Well,
felt.
well, and I've said it before to you privately, Whodad, because those came out during, during a time when the game was struggling, and
Mhm.
if you looked at numbers, people weren't streaming. And when it first came up and I heard about it, I was like, oh, like we'll try it out. Like maybe this will be fun. And it just was a jump start back into, oh wait, I don't have to sit here and punish myself. I could sit here and do this. It's still difficult. Again, the idea was you want to see the beauty of the course. This makes
Mhm.
you look back and see it. So I've always I've always said thank you for saving the directory, because there
Seriously.
was 2-3 months no one wanted to touch this game, and just that little tribute of like that this will get people back in. It worked.
Yeah, and I mean, I think that's that's the main thing is for me it was about the
Me too.
the 20 people or so that were completely dedicated to everything, and to see all of a sudden some of them go uninstall, not want anything to kind of do with the game because they felt like the game had treated them wrong. um it was awesome to see people say, hey, you know what, I'm going to come back for this. I mean, I think the first Nightwolf event, we had people that had actually bought the game, that had known me from my previous games,
The OGs.
that had known Nightwolf, back in my Battlefield days and my Hardline days. Nightwolf was one of my first followers. So for them to go out and actually purchase a game that was dying and to throw up a plus 200, and I mean, some of those rounds on the first one were
Yeah,
like plus
those were
two.
legendary.
They were laughing, they were giggling, and it was almost like, we take birdies for granted. Let's get back to a point where we can enjoy what the course designer gives us. You're not zooming past everything. You look, oh, look, there's a squirrel over here. Oh, look, I didn't know that there was there. And we always had a round where there was rain. I mean, the rain was like a taboo in any society, but it brought out the Night Wolf rainbow, of him looking down on us. And it was kind of a thing to set the bigger picture. But to have so many people reach out and say, those settings brought me back to the game, it can sometimes become very overwhelming because you don't know the impact that it's going to really have on people. And I'm doing it for my own selfish reason of, like, I need some healing, and I know that these people that are going to take this ride with me
Hmm.
are going to help me heal along the way. And then to have them eventually go mainstream in a big tournament, was absolutely crazy.
There was a lot
And
behind the scenes that and a lot of planning and a lot of
Mm.
reaching out to those who have left the game. Say, hey, turn it on and try these settings out. Let me know, what you think. So there's months of pre-planning before Nightwolf was actually born, so to speak.
yeah, because the first Nightwolf event is when the Red Fast went down the hill. And then it was like, let's go back and know that Masters isn't there. How do we put it on Pro, but still make it somewhat of a challenge where, I mean, Bear didn't, the challenge wasn't there. He's still shooting 14, 15 under.
I
But
was
I was,
still putting myself through the Masters ringer, so that's why
Yeah.
it was like, oh my god, the swing's a little bit easier.
but it was one of those things where I was like, let me get in contact with a plat player. Let me get in contact with an elite player. Let me get in contact with some low CC players, some high CC players, and let's experiment with some rounds and see how they feel. Is it going to be more of not all the courses are going to work on those settings. So then it was like, let's dig into the courses. Let's get some of these things so that, we can revive it.
Yeah.
And then to see that it did, and then to see, like I said, it goes into the tournament. Now it kind of seems like it's, I don't look at it like I saved a game or anything like that. I just think that it was something that everybody helped me gain some healing with along the way, and I'm glad that they were able to embrace those things and that they were able to come back to it. And hopefully we're going to see a lot of that momentum during that lull time, because there was some good tournaments coming down towards the end. The CC tournament was amazing that USN did, to help keep the momentum rolling into this next game. And now it's going to be absolutely crazy.
Oh yeah. And I think we've already answered this question, but who's going to be training 003 and a half how to game? And is there going to be a go live button pushed at any point? And has a username been discussed?
Wait, who are we talking about?
003 and a half.
Who's taking the training responsibilities, and has their username been discussed?
Well, I mean, she's used to be calling Little Bonds to the 07.
Little Bonds.
Little Bonds.
Okay.
I have a little
Oh, okay. I
one of my
love that.
follower emails is Little Bonds. So when she does make an appearance, the chat throws those up. She does a lot offline.
For now.
She likes playing golf.
Mhm.
In fact, I think I posted a
Yeah.
tweet with her.
She's
Mhm.
gotten
Swing
quite a
playing.
few wins on Fall Guys.
Really? Got the crowns? Oh
More
yeah.
than me.
Yeah, so when her Switch doesn't work, she'll say, "Mommy, I need a PC, like yours and Daddy's." So yeah, eventually, when she's old enough,
Yeah, I don't know if she'll ever do the go live button anytime soon, but
Yeah.
it is a great thing as a parent to be able to kind of showcase your child and their all the adorable things about them. So she does have some, some time that she'll occasionally uh go in on Nbonds' stream, and she'll tap the green screen or whatnot. And there's times that I'll set her on my lap until I can't feel my leg anymore, and I actually want to finally hit a good shot. But yeah, I think that kids pick up the passions that their parents have and stuff. And I think that she'll have a gamer. And I said it a while back, I'm gonna just face it that I'm the third best gamer in my house right now.
Yeah. But just sharing that
just be a lot
common interest
easier.
is cool. You know.
it's
Oh,
cute though. Like when I go live,
Mhm.
she's always like, "Mommy, have a great stream."
That's
And then
awesome.
a lot of the time she'll come in and even to Whodads and she'll say hi to the people in the chat, and the chat reacts back and talks back to her. And Or I'll be watching a streamer and I'll say, "Hey, Kinsey's, watching you." And then they'll be like, "Oh, hi, Kinsey." And she'll be like, "They just said my name. How do they know my name?" She thinks it's magic somehow, but it's really, really cute. I
And
think
there's a
she's
few
gonna
things
be
I've added to my stream in the last couple days to,
Ooh.
I got a little heart that
Yep.
kind of floats out there, and Mama's gone in there and said, "Hey, little one wants to see the heart," and then I can literally hear her right up above me, because I stream here, she streams right up above me, and I can hear when they're hanging out up there on the computer, the joy that brings, and
Yeah.
it's awesome. It's awesome. When are we
Oh,
going to see Kilbride's kid?
K11.
When does K11 get a little FaceTime?
he's got alerts set for him.
Yeah, I know. Well, I haven't
There,
set them up
do your
officially.
kids
Is it like white
do they
noise?
like
Is that the alert?
video games?
My so Nora will play Jurassic Park creator. She loves dinosaurs, so we've done that. I've even I think I went live once with her, and then I realized she's at that age where her attention span is not at like a stream level. Because I
Right.
was like, oh, like this will be fun. Like she likes the game. I'm like, that way I can just sit and BS. And then we got about 40 minutes in, and she goes, "I'm gonna go play Play-Doh." I'm like,
All done.
bye. I don't know what to do in this situation.
I was planning a good 3 hours here, Nora. You're really
Yeah,
throwing me
right?
off.
Yeah, it's hard to put a time frame on how long you're going to stream sometimes.
Mhm.
I mean, the people that hit the marks, I mean, kudos to them. They're single with no kids,
Yeah. Doing things, parlaying off that, doing things as a family on stream. You had the holiday cone crawl poem last year. That was really cool, seeing all three of you. I doubt, as you kind of mentioned, we'll see like anything necessarily between the three of you anytime in the near future. But can we expect a
We
cone
will.
crawl again?
Cone crawl again is coming up. It'll be the 3rd year. I don't know why, but we've been asked to come back again. So, I think we have 2 years in a row that we've done the night before Twitchmas. So
Love it. You
we
guys
might have
kill
to
it every
see that
time.
again. And that's been great to kind of look back over the year, and the Twitchmas and all that stuff that we've done. It gives us a chance to kind of reflect back on the year and kind of give that extra. We're thinking of you. We're highlighting you again. We haven't
Mhm.
forgotten. And there's sometimes that you forget that you um rated somebody that is now a big part of the community, and or that you were lucky enough to be there for someone's first hype train and watch them snot all over themselves and break down when they're just the toughest, strongest person in the world. So
Those are fun to write.
yeah,
I'm glad that
yeah,
we kept the tradition going.
yeah.
Mm.
So yeah, and that is the one time that you will see Little Bonds 007 in as well, because she has to be part of it. We'll get
We'll have to get
the
her some lines this year.
Christmas pajamas, and yeah, she might even have a speaking role this year. So
Love that.
yeah,
Changing her role in the credit scene.
yes,
December 23rd, I believe I've heard.
December 20th.
that is the rumor. Yes, yes.
The
Very cool.
one who Reefer and Flip.
They've been
the
putting it
people who
on.
would put it on. And it's a great. Well, you guys was the first one last year for you guys that you attended, or have you guys attended one yet?
I mean,
Last year was the first
watch
one
both of them. Yeah.
I watched. This will be the first year I'm a part of it.
Yes, let's go.
Oh.
What?
So
We haven't even gotten the lineup yet.
You heard it here first.
So
Ooh,
yeah,
breaking news.
yeah. Reefer invited me
That's awesome.
today. So
Oh,
very cool.
today. I wonder where that influence could have came from.
I was
You
gonna
never
say,
know.
you sons of
You
bitches.
never know.
It's a blast. I mean,
And for those
just
who
going
don't
from
know,
one stream to another,
yeah,
to another.
as
Yeah.
Nbonds is saying, it's, you know, everyone in the community collectively getting together, celebrating the year, celebrating Christmas, the holiday season, really all at once, and kind of doing their own little twist game, you know, poem, song, you know, whatever it may be.
Giveaways. I mean,
Giveaways.
it's a
Giveaways,
blast.
yeah,
Yeah.
all sorts of things, and it's just stream after stream after stream, and theoretically I think everyone gets like 15-20 minutes or something like
Mhm.
that, and
Mhm.
at least that's what the schedule that says. But like it's really cool when you get to see about 10 to 15 plus people all consecutively, and you don't even have to click a button on your computer. It's just going to raid from one to another, so definitely check that out.
Yeah.
It'd
But
be awesome.
thank you guys so much for coming on. All you guys do for the community. Keep spreading that love and happiness. And yeah, thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you.
And you guys are, you know, we love seeing what you guys are doing out there. And, you know, you guys are a big part of this growth as well. You know, so yeah, you guys keep doing it. And there's going to be a lot of amazing people that we're going to get to kind of see behind the scenes. And we've loved all the ones that you've done so far and what you do with the Red Fast Review. And it's going to be awesome to, you know, maintain that. And, you know, it'll be cool when you know, get, you know, you can't do doctor, but maybe you get Nick Merckx on here. Who knows?
Yeah, one day we'll just
Yeah.
keep
Or
slapping people. till
or
we do.
Nadia. Or Nadia. Let's get behind the
Oh, yeah.
controversy. So let's figure out what that.
Who's taller?
Yeah, right. But yeah, it's been awesome, guys. Appreciate you
Yes.
having us.
Thank you.
Slapping
you.
forward. See ya.